You, internet critic!
What?
I am Lady Dr. McFly, and I am here to challenge you to a fight to the death!
What? Who are you?
I just said... never mind. Your skills in battle are better than mediocre, and I have dubbed thee a worthy challenger.
Skills in battle? What skills? And what battles?
Your mastery of the Force, your control over the Earth itself, and your ability to ride a dirt bike!
Those are just Let's Plays. I can't really do that kind of stuff.
Let's plays?
Yeah, it's when you play a video game. You commentate on while you play it.
Interesting. Tell me, noble couch potato, what is a video game?
You know, video games. Mario, Halo, Sonic. Don't they have video games in Japan or China or wherever you're from?
I'm from Wisconsin, you stereotyping rapscallion! Play battle music! Hadouken! Firebomb Spirit Blast! What? Where's my fireball? And my awesome special effects?
Are you kidding me? I don't know how to put that kind of stuff in a video.
But you do know how to do phase transitions!
Crap! I do know how to do fades.
Itadakimasu!
Oh, you rampaging butt clown! Bring it on!
Seems you are a bigger threat than I foresaw, Great Hairy One. But tell me, will you dare attack me while I have this?
Little fat! You let him go!
Never.
Alright.
Hey, wait a sec. You can get him back. If you review something for me.
The first review I ever did was Rock Revolution. I can take whatever you can dish out. I'll do it for Little Fat.
Then prepare yourself, mortal, for dun dun dun! Kung Fu Panda 2!
No! How could you do this? No! Dear God, no! This is horrible! No! No! By the mighty beard of Odin, no! Okay.
My old enemy. Stairs.
Stupid friggin' ninjas stealing my Boba Fett. Make them review DreamWorks movies. So yes, Kung Fu Panda 2. Pretty sure it's not the original art there. Kung Fu Panda 2 is the sequel to, well, Kung Fu Panda 1. And for those of you who don't know the story of Kung Fu Panda, here's a brief synopsis. A young panda by the name of Po mistakenly gets chosen to be the new Kung Fu legend, the Dragon Warrior. While he's extremely excited about it, the rest of his team and the Furious Five aren't so much, and they keep giving him crap about it. But a fearsome criminal breaks out of jail, and the fearsome five are unable to defeat him. So they turn to their last and only hope, the Dragon Warrior, aka Po. And, spoiler alert, Po wins. And Kung Fu Panda 2 picks up a few months after the first film. Po's become a very famous and revered warrior. Everyone loves him, everyone admires him. He's become good friends with the rest of his team and is finally becoming the true Dragon Warrior. But there's evil afoot. An evil peacock by the name of Shen has killed all the pandas in the world because a prophecy foretold that his downfall will be at the hand of a creature of black and white. So Shen basically commits panda genocide and is banished from his kingdom by his mother and father. And years later, he returns, thirsty for vengeance.
My fist hungers for justice. That was my fist.
The two main plots in the movie is Shen trying to take over China, and Po trying to discover his true identity. Po's father is a crane. No, not that kind, the bird. Who edits this crap? And Po's beginning to wonder about where he actually came from. And surprise, surprise, Po's adopted. This was never actually addressed in the first film. It's just Po's dad was a crane. And it was just kind of that to be a joke, you know? It never was brought up that his dad was a bird. And I actually thought that was really funny. And they made a plot point out of it, which I think actually works out pretty well. Because Po gets very involved about who he is and where he's really from. And Po finds out that Shen knows what happened to his family, and he goes on a quest to try and get the information out of him. Now, I did enjoy the first Kung Fu Panda movie. I mean, it was a pretty bizarre concept, but it had some good characters, good writing, an alright story, and really good action scenes. And this movie has all that, except everything gets kicked up a couple of notches. The action's more intense, there's a lot more funny jokes, some of the characters are more in depth. There's actually a lot of drama here, which is weird in a movie about talking kung fu animals. And there's actually some really heavy moments in the film, which I was not expecting at all. There's a scene with almost no dialogue, and everything's conveyed through the emotion of the characters on screen. And the animators have done a brilliant job with it. I mean, you get to see every emotion on a panda's face. You know, love, happiness, horror, terror, sadness, confusion, revenge. And it's a panda played by Jack Black. And that being said, Jack Black is very good in this role. I mean, he does kind of seem a bit out of place. Everyone is a bit more traditional in their speak, you know, they're much more formal, and Jack Black's, you know, very kind of party rockin' dude, like, you know, somewhere, like, you know that in that same voice is a guy singing about fucking gently.
I'm gonna fuck you hard.
But he makes it work. Po is very energetic and excited about being all into kung fu and being the dragon warrior and all this stuff. And he's kind of like a really excited kid. He's just so excited about everything that's going on. And he just wants to do it. And he's not really that patient about it. Like he was in the first film. He was very impatient. Just want to get everything done, let's go. Come on, action, teach me moves, kung fu, action, fireballs, punch, Hadouken! And he's still like that here, but he's slowed down a bit since he realizes it's about peace of mind and calm, meditation, a lot of that. It's not all just
I'm freaking in.
The rest of the voice acting is pretty good too. The villain Shen, who I can't remember who is voiced by, I'll just put it right there, does a really good job of being menacing and also getting a few good lines out of there. He's not like laugh out loud funny, but he gets a good chuckle every now and again just by being so serious and menacing and suddenly just, no, move that a bit to the left. One thing about the movie is that they really don't focus much on the Fearsome Five, who are the big legendary kung fu artists. And they really don't get too much input on anything. Tigress is the person who interacts with Po the most, and even so, she and Po only have 2 or 3 scenes together. They really don't do too much in the way of directly impacting the story. But when they fight, they get some really creative, good action in there. With, you know, if you have a snake martial artist, there's going to be a lot of slithering and sneaking in and around. The Mantis is probably my favorite out of them. I think he's played by Seth Rogen. If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself there. Am I wrong? Okay, I'm not. And he gets a lot of good lines. He also talks a bit like Po, like just saying awesome, cool, and just being kind of very energetic and excited. And he gets some pretty good laughs. The action scenes are really good. It's very over the top, almost to the point of being implausible and at some points impossible. But you know, it's kung fu. You channel the spirits of the dragons and you can lift a boulder if you're a praying mantis that's this big. And it makes for some really good, really creative action with all these different shapes and sizes of characters. The movie looks beautiful. There's some really good, big sweeping shots of China. A lot of really good dynamic lighting. There's a scene in a factory where everything's all red and smoky. The shadows being cast on the smoke. Everything looks great. This probably would have been a really good movie to see in theaters, but I just watched it on my TV at home.
How is he doing that with his face?
So if you like Kung Fu Panda 1, you're going to love Kung Fu Panda 2. It's got more action, more comedy, more beautiful set pieces, and it's got a big dose of drama in there. Almost gets you a little teary-eyed. And it's a cartoon panda. Good work on that one. Also, this movie's not a kid's movie. I don't mean that like there's tons of swearing and really, really graphic violence. I say that in that it's a family movie. People of any age can enjoy this movie. Kids, adults, babies, teenagers, 90-year-old great-grandmothers. It's a good movie, but you should definitely watch Kung Fu Panda 1 to really enjoy it. However, there is one major flaw I find with this movie. The funny thing is, it doesn't come until the last 10 seconds of the actual movie. So, spoiler alerts, I'm going to spoil the ending for you. If you don't want to see this, click right here. This annotation will take you right to the part where I'm done talking about spoilers. Alright, here we go. So, in the end, Po is able to defeat Shen, and he goes home to his father, who's been having these conflict issues with. His father doesn't think he loves him. It's all confusing. And Po accepts that his father is his father, Panda or Bird, and he loves him, and he's okay with that. And that, I think, is a great ending. I mean, you know, acceptance, love, doesn't matter where you came from, who you are. Your family is your family, adopted or not. But then we get a flash and we see Po's real father, a panda, who senses his son's still alive, which, you know, I can buy sensing things, kind of like the Force in Star Wars. It's Kung Fu, there's spirits, you just gotta go with it. He senses his son's alive, and then you get this big pan-out shot to this valley filled with pandas. All the pandas are alive. What?! That is such a cop-out ending, I feel. It's just, we've gone through this whole movie knowing the pandas are dead. They were slaughtered and killed. That is just, that's brutal. I'm not gonna lie, that's brutal. For a kid's movie, especially. And I like that. It made the movie feel edgy, you know? Maybe not edgy. I mean, this isn't like Dread or The Punisher or something. But it made it feel like it wasn't afraid to let kids know that these kinds of things happen. I mean, it's not just straight up saying like, oh, World War II, 6 million. I'm not getting into that. But it went dark. It went dramatic. The first scene in the movie is telling you about how Shen went and killed all these pandas. And you know, I'm not condoning the death of pandas. Pandas are awesome. But it just feels like a cop-out. Like, these last 10 seconds, cut them out, the movie would have been much better, I think. Just 'cause it just left this sour taste in my mouth after seeing it. Just, okay, Po has accepted his fate. He knows who his father is, and he loves him for that. He loves his noodle-making crane dad. That, I think, is the perfect ending to this story. About not knowing who you are, and then in the end, as long as there's someone who loves and cares about you, it doesn't matter who you are. But then, the people, your real parents, are alive, and it's just, it really, really annoys me. I'm not saying this drags down the entire movie. It doesn't. But it's just, I understand they're getting fuel bait. Not fuel. I understand they're getting sequel bait here. They're fueling the fire, so there'll be a Kung Fu Panda 3, which I think has actually already been confirmed in the making. And you know, I wouldn't mind seeing another Kung Fu Panda movie. I enjoyed them. It's just, maybe if they'd just shown Po's dad, you know, just one panda left. Maybe two. Like Po's dad and, I don't know. Because then like the third one, his dad can meet up and they have to go on a quest to find other pandas so they can repopulate, you know? But it's a whole valley filled with pandas. And they're all happy, everything's green and there's flowers. I swear there's a fucking rainbow. Unacceptable! It just bugs me, like, did the makers of this movie think we can't let these kids know all these pandas died, you know? The pandas are fine. It's all good. Screw you for that. I mean, Yes, you know, it's like if your parents died and then you find out they didn't, I guess. I mean, you know, you'd be relieved for that. But it just seems like such a drama cop-out ending, like a bad TV soap opera. Like, it's been a dream, sort of. You know? A fake-out ending, basically. And it feels like pretty much everything Poe worked for to find out who he was doesn't matter. I mean, I guess Poe doesn't know his family's alright, but I mean, I guess that's the third movie, is him going to find his family. This really bugs me. I don't know why it bugs me so much. I guess I do know, it's a cheap ending. After such a good ending. You could take that last 10 seconds of the movie, cut it out, get rid of it, scrap it, and just end with Poe hugging his adopted father. You can end on that, fade up to the sunset, Kung Fu Panda 2, roll credits. What's wrong with that? It's about love and acceptance, and it doesn't matter who you are. What matters is what you do with your life. And what Poe did was become the Dragon Warrior, kick Shen's ass, save China. And the whole time he's struggling to figure out who he was. And then he finds out it doesn't matter. There's a whole part of the movie dedicated to it's not who you are that defines you, it's what you do that defines you. And what Poe did was awesome. Who he is who he makes of himself. And it just seems like now he's gonna go and find his family, even though he thinks they're dead. And I don't know. It's an annoying ending.
Enjoy your little tantrum, diaper baby?
Okay, spoilers over. Apart from my rant there, this is still a good movie. I definitely recommend it for fans of action movies. Maybe not action, of comedic action. It's funny, it's heartfelt, it's got good message, it's great acting, beautifully animated, great action, likable characters, a good villain. He's actually really good, he's very menacing, I like him. Shen's a really cool villain. And I recommend it. But make sure you've seen Kung Fu Panda 1 first, or you're going to be a bit lost about how he's the Dragon Warrior and why it's such a big deal he's the Dragon Warrior. But yeah, give it a look. Alright, you happy now?
Not really, seeing as you actually liked it.
Well, a deal's a deal. Now give me back Little Fett.
Fine.
Little Fett! I'll never let you go again. How did you even get into my house? I let her in! Why do you keep breaking into my house? I, don't have much of a social life. Say, wanna be friends?
No. You put up a good review, bold chubby warrior, but I will not rest until you are defeated! I'm unstoppable! On the next video, I think I'll tell him I slept with his mother!